Convergent and divergent evolution. Examples of change over time. Let's take a look at this picture. We have 4 different limbs of 4 different animals. One is human. This is the arm of a human. One is a cat's leg, a whale's flipper, and a bat. This last one is a bat, a wing. And what I want you to notice is that each one of them has the same structure of bones. They have one bone, 2 bones, little bones, and digits. The human has that. The cat has 1 bone, 2 bones, little bones, digits. The whale, 1, 2, little bones, digits. The bat, 1, 2, little bones, digits. They all use them in different ways. So the human uses their arms to lift things and to move things. The cat uses them to walk. The whale uses it to swim. The bat uses theirs to fly. But they all have the same structure. These are similar structures, but with different functions. We call them homologous structures. So homologous means same structure. Okay, so homologous, they have the same structure, different function. They're an example of divergent evolution, meaning that there was a common ancestor that produced many different species. So a human, a cat, a whale, a bat, somewhere, if you go back far enough, and in this case to what are called tetrapods, the first 4-limbed organisms, tetrapods were our common ancestor. And you have to go back pretty far to find that, millions and millions and millions of years. But if you do, you will find that we all had a common ancestor. Divergent evolution is the process in which groups from the same common ancestor evolve and accumulate differences, resulting in the formation of a new species. So here we see a common early primate. Common early primate. And it gave rise to the many various present-day primates, including humans. So notice, this is not saying that humans came from apes. This is saying that we had a common ancestor with apes. There's a difference there. Okay, so it's important to notice that if you go back far enough, we have common ancestors with all the arthropods. There are some, you have to go back further, but you can find some with lemurs. Each of these different monkeys, the orangutans, the gorillas, the chimpanzees, if you go back far enough, we had a common primate ancestor. So that's divergent evolution. There's also what's known as convergent evolution. Con means they come together. Something that's convergent comes from several different points and comes together. So convergent evolution is the process in which organisms not closely related independently evolve similar traits as a result of having to adapt to similar environments. So here we have different organisms that swim in the water. Notice they have some common features. The shark and the dolphin and the ichthyosaur, even the penguin, which you can't really see too well in this picture. Oops. Each of these organisms has fins. They have the pointed beak-like nose. They're long-bodied and sleek and go through the water. Okay. They all had to adapt to swimming in the water, so they all have similar traits. That's called convergent evolution. You have to go back pretty far to find, like, you don't find a common ancestor for them in that same kind of way. Okay. So similar structures that evolve in convergent evolution are called analogous structures. The first structures we looked at were homologous. These are analogous. So the function of bats, or the wings of bats, birds, and butterflies, are analogous because they have a similar function, but different structure. They all help them fly. There's the bat wing. It's very, very different from a butterfly wing. And that's very different from a bird wing. Okay? They do not have a recent common ancestor. They did not share a recent common ancestor. Okay, so I've given you a lot of information. Let's sum it up. Divergent evolution, diverging. You see homologous structures. There's a similar structure, but different function. They had a recent common ancestor. The example here was the tetrapod bone structure. Tetra means four. This was the whale, the cat, the bat, and the human. That is divergent evolution with homologous structures. Then you have convergent evolution with analogous structures. Analogous structures have a similar function, but different structure. They do not share a recent common ancestor. Well, if you go back even further, we all share some common ancestors way back. But not in that same sense. Okay? And so our example here was the wings on a butterfly, a bird, and a bat. Those are analogous structures. Okay? So keep those straight. Divergent, homologous, convergent, analogous. In this video, you've learned the difference between convergent and divergent evolution, and you've learned the difference between homologous and analogous structures.